Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the group exhibit Hydrogen Fuel Cells and Batteries here on Hannover Fair 2017. I would like to invite you all to participate in the next talk about the solution for labs, test beds and other hydrogen users, the on-site production, storage and release of hydrogen with Rouge Hydrogen on-site on demand. So if you would like to join us, please take a seat, have a drink on the house, and we will start our discussion with my three participants right next to me. I would like to welcome the president of Rouge. It is Sable Huang. Nice to meet you and very welcome here to the stage. She's president. We have the managing director and CEO, which is Florian von Hofen. Welcome to you, Mr. von Hofen. And also the project manager, research and development of Rouge Hydrogen Engineering, which is Dr. Gernot Voitic. Welcome here. Very well. Ms. Huang, I'm always happy to have female people on the stage, and you're the president of your company. So please tell me a little bit, what is your role in building up Rouge Hydrogen Engineering?
Good question. I have been an angel investor in Europe, in the States, and in Asia for more than 20 years. And at Rouge GmbH. This project is particularly close to my heart because it's really an opportunity for stop consuming fossil fuel and try to create a down-to-earth, zero-emission, circular economy.
So you're personally convinced from this idea, yes? So that's why you invest your money and your soul in it.
Yes, and because everyone at GmbH is highly motivated by our mission to be a socially responsible and an environmental friendly company. So my role mainly is an investor and a cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
Yes, I think that's why I'm here.
Very good. Yeah, it's important to have that. And your personal attitude towards it, Dr. Voitic. You're a young person. What is your personal attitude towards hydrogen? What do you think about hydrogen? Can it play a major role in future energy systems?
Yes, well, hydrogen is an ideal energy carrier. It can efficiently utilized for generating heat and electricity without direct emission of CO2. Of course, we all know it's a secondary energy carrier, so the ecological characteristics depend on the resources and the production methods. So as long as we make sure the resources we use are CO2 neutral and the production methods, we can initialize a hydrogen infrastructure that is sustainable for future generations and will provide the quality of life we're enjoying now also for future generations. And I think hydrogen is a key role in this segment.
Mr. von Hofen, our topic today is the solution for labs, test beds and other hydrogen users, on-site production, storage and release of hydrogen with GmbH on-site on demand. Are these the typical hydrogen users you're already mentioning in that topic? Are these labs and test beds nowadays who need hydrogen?
Well, I think we have to make a little difference between people who are using hydrogen already today, and that's quite a lot, often underestimated, from steel industry, glass industry and so on, who often just use hydrogen in small percentages, for instance, in their processes or in the gas that they use, but they already use the hydrogen every day. And then there is what we call the future, which is, of course, mobility and CHP, etc. But for us, of course, both is interesting. And the hydrogen users that use the hydrogen already, most of them use bottles. That means transport, etc., etc. We will talk about that, I think.
And that's the current problem that they have, that they have to organize to get to the hydrogen.
Exactly, and that's where we come in, hopefully.
Okay, so Mr. Voitic, what is the major difference between on-site, on-demand production of hydrogen and the current system we have in the market?
Well, the current systems based on reforming of hydrocarbons usually utilize some kind of post-production purifications, usually a Voitic shift stage and pressure swing adsorptions to purify hydrogen, which then can be utilized in fuel cell applications. And the OSOD system uses a chemical looping process, which is combined with the reforming, and the chemical looping process and the reforming reaction take place in one system. This enables a very compact design, which has advantages in small scale systems in terms of efficiency, investment costs, production costs.
So what kind of customers will be perfect, your system will be especially suitable?
Well, customers with a continuous hydrogen demand who want to produce their own hydrogen on site. Customers who currently have bottle systems which have to be transported over long distances. If they use the on-site production, they are ideal customers because they can see the financial benefit within a couple of years based on our system.
But Mr. van Hofen, I really have to understand the system. It is like steam reforming, isn't it, what you're doing?
Basically, it's steam reforming. Actually, Mr. Voitic would even be the better person to explain, but just basically we produce hydrogen, but we are also, and that usually from, or ideally from biogas. We can use other sources as well, but biogas is, of course, the most
because you're a green
desired.
company. That's
exactly. But then comes the point, we are not only producing hydrogen, we are also storing it in a solid state storage in the system. And this is within one system, and that is pretty unique.
Mr. Voitic, you're the only doctor here on stage, so you probably made your PhD on that topic, I presume.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit, what is special about this kind of steam reforming that you invented or you investigated?
Well, the steaming reforming is just the first step to generate the synthesis gas, which is then used in the chemical looping process. And this process utilizes a solid oxygen carrier, which is reduced by the synthesis gas. And in reduced form, it can operate as a storage system. It is then the chemical energy is simply stored in the solid material at ambient pressure. It can be then cooled down for a long-term storage, so it's a completely safe and cheap storage device.
So that's only one device where you do the steam reforming and the storage itself?
And for the production, you then have in a second process step the feed-in of steam, and this re-oxidizes your solid material and the pure hydrogen as more or less the byproduct, but is then the main product which can be obtained from the system.
Very good. Mr. van Hofen, yesterday we had a press conference with Minister Lies here, and everybody was thinking about, well, we have trains running on hydrogen. Where does the hydrogen come from? And everybody's talking about electrolyzers here on this group exhibit especially. We have so many exhibitors with electrolyzers. Nobody really thinks about steam reforming anymore, huh?
Well, yeah, steam reforming does not seem to be very posh at the moment, but I think that with the diversification that we will need in the whole green energy market, there will always be a space for steam reforming as well, especially when you really do it sustainably, what we are trying to do. And the other point is when you make it fitting to the customer's needs, which means steam reforming does not always mean big refineries like we have in Wien-Schwechat or so. It can be very, very tiny and small and really according to the size that the customer needs. So that's why our system also is scalable from a pretty small size like 5 cubic meter an hour to much bigger sizes of several hundred cubic meters an hour.
So is there any difference in terms of being green between steam reforming from biogas or electrolyzers from green resources, from renewable energies?
Well, if you talk about the green aspect, of course, first of all, when you use an electrolyzer, you have always to ask where is the electricity coming from that you use in the process.
I presume it comes from renewable.
Yeah, and when it comes from renewable, then you have to look at another aspect, and that is the cost.
Okay.
So when it comes to the real cost at the end of the day, I think that we can be, or that we are very, very competitive with our system.
Okay, so we actually have to compare three opportunities: either to have the hydrogen in bottles to be brought every day to my test bed or to my lab, or to produce it on site on demand with steam reforming of biogas, or to be produced by electrolyzers. So you would say, well, your solution will be the best right in the middle between the two, huh?
Well, economically, we have done a couple of studies, and we can show you on our stand right away that depending on what you have to pay for your feedstock, which is different in each country, so also depending on the biogas price, but within a pretty short amount of time, between even 1.5 to 3-4 years, you will have a complete return of investment, and from then on you will only earn money every single day.
Dr. Voitic, so how would you do the comparison between, you probably did that in the PhD, between the steam reforming from biogas compared to electrolyzers?
If you compare those two systems, because they're based on very different kind of technologies, you need a scenario where you can compare also the feedstock. So I would say, I would suggest not to compare these two applications actually, so just simply use the application for whichever is the best solution, because in different cases the feedstock, the electric feedstock may be cheaper than the biogas feedstock. Well, in this case, of course use electrolysis. In other cases where biogas is the cheaper source, depending on time or geographical situations, then use steam reforming. So I think both systems are the right solution, but for different situations.
I've been at your booth, Mr. Voitic, and seen this little video over there, and there you say something like biogas plants create a new business with these on-site on-demand systems. That might be the application where steam reforming of biogas is maybe the best.
Yes, so we want to give local communities who have their own feedstock from biomass or biogas to upgrade and increase the value of their resource by upgrading it to hydrogen, and especially in rural or alpine areas which are common in Austria. This is a unique opportunity for communities to produce their own hydrogen and supply their own mobility infrastructure based on fuel cell mobility.
Very good. I would like to give you the opportunity. If you have any questions, just raise your hand. I'll be with the microphone right with you. That is at the time not the case. Anyway, you can and you should visit them at their booth. They're just over there, this direction. And I would like to invite everybody to have a closer look at it, of course. But one more question to Mr. von Hofen. I've heard you also offering a financing concept based on circular economy. What does it mean, circular economy?
Well, circular economy is one of the important topics also in the European Union these days or these years. And very simplified, it just means that my responsibility for my product does not end with handing it over to my customer. So I manufacture something, I sell it, and then I don't care about it anymore. No. Of course, I should think about what is happening to the material, to the product in the long term. Can I probably take parts of the product or the whole product back and recycle it, use it again, etc. So with that in mind, we offer our customers financing concepts or leasing concepts where the system stays our property and we just take care of it for the customer on site, depending on his requirements. So that will make the initial investment easier for the customer. It gives him a guarantee that it is a constant being taken care of the system. and it makes sure that we have a very good recycling rate and the circular economy idea is fulfilled.
That's a very clever and modern idea, I would say. That people say, don't sell products, sell services, you know, and that's just the service you're selling, the service of selling, well, the hydrogen whenever you need it, you can have it from us and we provide you with the hydrogen. I think this is a very good offer that everybody should consider. Dr. Voitic, you have this on-site on-demand project, and you are among the 5 finalists of the Huska prize. I haven't heard about it before. I just know it's a very important prize in Austria. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, it's the biggest prize for scientific research, which is close to the market for highly innovative applications. And our scientific partner, the Technical University of Graz, they send in the OSOD project, which is our partner, and together with us, Rouge Hydrogen Engineering, we will be at the ceremony. Of course, there are 5 nominees, and their other applications are also very, very interesting applications, so we don't get our hopes up too high. But to be among the 5 of these is also a great appreciation and shows that the peers also appreciate the innovation behind the project.
It is donated with 400,000 euro, isn't it? Something like that.
Actually, I haven't looked at the money because I'm more about the prestige in this case.
The prestige. Okay, I keep my fingers crossed for you. I hope that you will win it among the 5 best. Well, even that is already pretty good, I really can tell you. Ms. Huang, last question for you. You as cheerleader and investor, where do you see your company in 5 years' time?
I believe that we will be very busy.
You're busy already, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean super busy.
Super busy then, yes. Okay, I hope so too. I hope you a very big success, and everybody who wants closer information, just visit Rouge Hydrogen at B75, just on your left-hand side over there. Thank you very much for this interesting interview with you, and I wish you the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.